Hi everybody, it's Karen, and with me today is the very awesome Susannah Conway. Wave hi, Susannah.
Hi!
Hi. And Susannah has just written this amazing book. I don't know if you can see it in the little video here. It's called This I Know, Notes on Unraveling the Heart. And Susannah and I have been friends for, God, Susannah, how many years now?
Couple of years now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
like,
2 or 3? Well,
only?
I can't
Is it
remember
only?
when we first met. Was it 2010? Yeah.
We'll go with 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just give us a little background about what your book is.
Oh golly, it's kind of half memoir, half creative journaling thoughts on life is the best way I can put it. I keep trying to come up with a really snappy elevator pitch for it, and I can't do it because it feels like it should be just a memoir, but it's not. It's more for the reader than just about me.
Yes,
so that's not very succinct, but that's kind of what it feels like.
No, I read your book. I told you I read your book on a plane recently, and I read it from beginning to end on a flight to a talk I was doing. And it is a memoir, but it's a memoir about a specific part of your life. It's not like from birth to now, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a better way of putting it. It starts talking about my journey through bereavement because I lost my partner in 2005. And I have been on my own ever since then, and I've healed my life and made everything better, really, and found myself. So the book focuses on that. That's kind of the through theme through the whole book, and the first chapter is about bereavement. But it's not a sad book. It's a uplifting, positive, healing book. So it's about healing, and then I go into the different layers that I unraveled as I healed. So I look at my childhood, and I look at my friendships, and I look at work, and I look at creativity. That's a really big theme through the book. So it's all the things that matter to me. Looking through the kind of the lens of how bereavement made me look at them again, and enlarge them and make them bigger and better and more me.
Yeah, but it occurred to me that it's something that is really, really good to read no matter what kind of loss that you're going through. It'd be something that would be good to read through divorce or through any kind of major loss in your life. I think it would be a really great thing, because you have sort of journaling prompts and little prompts that you can do as you go through the book, right, to kind of help you heal.
But it's not supposed to just be about me, so I wanted to make it about the reader as well, and so when they're reading my thoughts and theories, they can sort of apply it to their lives as well. But yeah, I mean, grief and loss isn't just death. I mean, yeah, it's divorce, it's losing your job, it's moving, it's losing friendships, it's losing a part of yourself, it's aging. I mean, there are so many things that we lose, and it's how we process them and deal with them, because it's so easy to just want to sweep it under the rug and not look at it and not go there, and it's too painful and I can't. But then when something else comes along, all of the stuff that's under the rug is going to come back.
Right.
And you still have to look at it. So, this is where we can really mess our heads up, because there's all this stuff we're not looking at, and it's over here and it wants our attention, so we avoid and we avoid. And I've been doing that all my life, and it was only until I actually went through bereavement that suddenly it's like I can't hide the rug stuff anymore. I wasn't just dealing with his death, but it was also all the other stuff. Right. So it kind of all came out in one go. And whereas normally I'd, keep working and drink a bit too much wine and do all these avoidance things, with my grief I couldn't. I had to just be still for a whole year, for the first year, and start trying to work through it. I couldn't work. I couldn't obviously get another relationship, so I couldn't avoid it anymore. So that's kind of where the book comes from, is because there was so much, if you like, navel gazing going on, because I had to examine things and figure them out and find my life again, which meant that not only did I look at bereavement, but it was also stuff from childhood, and it was a real time of therapy. And I did work with a therapist because I just really needed that help and that structure to know how to look at stuff. I couldn't just do it on my own, because it's big stuff to look at.
So it was was it 2010? I'm thinking it might have been 2009. Because it was 2011 was the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because I moved to Bath in 2010.
You had just moved.
Yeah, I just moved there, hadn't I?
This was
right at the beginning when we met.
That's exactly right. And I was about to say that. And when I saw you 6 months ago, when I saw you in Bath in November, like when we parted, I said, you've lit up. You're so much happier. And and it wasn't anything like I mean, you told me a little bit about the loss you'd experienced in 2009, but you'd blossomed within those three. I mean, it was so apparent. And I was wondering, like, you know, I've written this book called The Beauty of Different. Like,
yes,
do you feel like this process of grief has sort of helped you find what's awesome about you and what makes you different? Do you feel like that's kind of taking you on that path? And if you could talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like the last 7 years since he died has been in two halves. And the first half, I left London, I moved to the South Coast, I went into therapy, I tried to remake my life again. I wasn't working, and it was really messy and hard and obviously painful. But in those first 3 years was the major unraveling, because I had to deconstruct all these different parts of me and then work out how to put them back together. But then in 2009, just before we met, I moved over here where I'm living now in Bath in the southwest of England. And I felt like I needed to get out of the healing cocoon that I'd been in by the sea, and I had to be somewhere new where I didn't know anyone and have all these new chances to make something. I had to move to the next stage, and I knew that needed to happen. So that was when I came over here. I started teaching an evening class, which I then turned into an online class.
You were just about to teach that in-person class when I met you.
I had no idea how that would go, because I thought, well, it could be really crap and maybe no one will do it, and failure, all the big worries. And as it turned out, it went really well, and I've sort of found the thing that I feel like I'm meant to be doing, because it's flowed and it's worked well, but also I feel like this is how I can share my stuff with the world best, I suppose, and it's through photography and writing, and that's what I talk about in the book, because those are the two things that I was doing in the first 3 year period when I was trying to find myself again and figure stuff out and heal. And it was through picking up a camera and journaling and writing and then blogging that helped me find me. So so I feel like I don't know if I feel more beautiful, but I feel more me.
Well, and you are beautiful.
And actually, what I'm grappling with at the moment is the aging thing, actually, because I've only just started going back out into the dating world, which is really scary and hard and makes me feel really vulnerable. And the last time I went on a proper date, I was 30, and I'm now 39. So I'm suddenly having, oh wow, I'm not that girl anymore. I'm now this person here, and so that is making me look at myself yet again. So even though I've done all this unraveling and I've written this book, and I should be really healed and sorted and centered, and once again I'm back in I'm doing something new and I'm doing something scary, so I'm back in it. And I have been reading back the book, and yes, and as we were just saying, it's quite hard to read it back because there are parts that I wish I could change. But equally I keep finding little passages where it's almost like I've written them so I can read them now. And I keep finding little paragraphs, and I'm like, oh God, yes, I've got to remember that. So it's really interesting how I was writing for my future self in a way.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
It never stops. I feel like a constant project.
Welcome to life, right? That's what it is. So, okay, so you just mentioned something, and I want to talk about it because I had written something about it recently on my blog, and we were discussing this. When I read your book, I'm reading your book, and then I flipped to the back with your lovely self-portrait that you have there, and it says, Susannah Conway is a photographer and a writer. And I thought that's so interesting because I consider myself those two things too, but I always tend to put writer first rather than photographer. And so we were, you and I kind of discussed how do you decide what you call yourself? And part of it, for me, part of it is sort of, I think the world is moving from this very, or maybe it's just my life, corporate sort of the 1950s where you get the title and you're, on your thing and you're the director of marketing or you're the chief financial officer, to a more fluid way of people defining themselves. One, I think entrepreneurship is becoming bigger and bigger. And I think also, even if people who are in smaller companies, they're, chief evangelist, people come up with these, new kind of fantastical titles for themselves. And I was wondering, how does it feel strange for you to call yourself a writer first, and that's why you call yourself a photographer, or how did you come up with that?
Yeah, I was thinking about this a lot when you did your post, because I thought, oh yeah, I say photographer first, and I think the initial reason for that was because it tripped off the tongue easier, photographer and writer, than writer and photographer.
Well, for me, the opposite is true.
Well, you see, but there you go. This is obviously something happening in the back of my head, because I thought, no, that sounds better. But I know that I feel more confident as a photographer. So if I show people my photographs, I can do it without feeling bashful. I think it's what it is. So I can say, here are my photographs. I know that they're good without wanting to sound conceited in any way.
No, confident.
I can just say, here, I know these are good. So I kind of feel like there's nothing anyone could say to make me feel less than proud of them. And again, not in a conceited way, just in a quietly confident way.
Sure. Yeah,
whereas with my words, I feel so much more vulnerable, and I feel like they are much easier to be shot down, much easier to be critiqued, much easier to be found lacking in some way. So I suppose, I think it's just in the order of confidence is how I do photographer and then writer. But then, I've been writing in a diary since I was 11. So, I look at the book now and I think, my God, it's still just diary writing. But I've always just kind of chronicled my stuff.
Yeah.
That's always been the sort of writer I've always been. And even when I was working as a journalist, I was still doing first-person pieces. So, it's always been the kind of thing I've done. So I have a degree in journalism and I have a degree in photography. And it's like, well, I have both. But it's still the photography that I feel more confident in.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. For me, part of it, I think, the reason that I don't put photographer first is that I don't get paid for my photographs, and for some reason, that's what I'm afraid people will think if I say photographer. Right. That I think people will be like, "Oh, good, do my wedding," and that's not the kind of photographer that I am. So I don't. It's really interesting how you do it, and people came up with some really great titles in that post, like call yourself a writographer, or my friend Brene, who I think you've met. Have you met Brene?
Not yet. In July.
Yet. Yeah. So okay, right. So Brene always says you're a photo essayist, which I sort of love how that feels.
Nice. Yeah, sexy.
But yeah, it's very sexy. But then I always think, well, but does a photo essayist actually ever use words?
Yeah.
So you never know. So it's really interesting. Anyway, so I guess we will continue to figure out what we are until somebody comes up with a great name. I kind of like writographer, and maybe you're a fighter, PHITER, a photo writer, which I think you are.
I like it. I like my photography now because it's just for me. I've just shared it on the blog and it's in the book, and actually I've written another book about photography, but that's a separate thing. But it's more for my pleasure and my expressing myself. Yep. I still think of myself as a photographer, but just not as a professional photographer. Am I professional? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, commercial photographer maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a commercial photographer. I'm an artiste. You're
an artiste. There you go. Absolutely.
How bad does that sound? It's but I can't write without the photos. So
I'm the same way. They go together for me.
You're right. We're writographers,
we're writographers. You're fighters. I like fighters. I like fighters with PH. We're fighters. PHITERS. Fighters. So okay. Well, thank you so much for this. This was awesome talking to you. It's always good to see your face. Also, everybody, I have to tell you, can you show people your tats? Please just show your arm. Just show your arm. The arm. Show your arm. So I love the beautiful, lily, right? It's an Easter lily.
Yeah, it's a lily.
It's a lily. So I sort of love it because every time I've actually seen Susannah in person, it's winter. And we're always covered up. And so this was the first time I was like, whoa, you've got a huge, beautiful
tat. On your arm.
See, so I'm learning new things about you every day.
I know, I love that.
Which is awesome. So it's so great to see your face. I'm hoping to get to England again sometime very soon, and I will let you know when that happens.
Thank you.
Yes, and everybody, please go get this book. This I Know, Notes on Unraveling the Heart. It's beautiful. Look, wait, hang on. You have to see how beautiful it is. It is beautiful. It's got her beautiful photographs in with some beautifully soulful writing. You need to go get it. So, thank you so much, Susannah.
Thank you.
You are a rock star.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.